Oh,
Yo.
hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. English. Here,
Very exciting.
are we again?
We do it.
Don't
Let's
mess
go.
with me like that. Stop.
Welcome, everyone. It's time. Home Assistant release 2025.4.
Or
The fourth release. 1/3 in of all releases.
Jesus,
this year.
1/3.
That's kind of
Wow.
wild.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to add a
This-
big disclaimer. By the
Oh.
way, before we start, it's April 2nd. Like nothing is a joke today, right?
No, it's
Just
all.
no extension cords, no nothing, right?
Oh yeah, it's a good release. Like we have so
Yes.
many cool things to discuss today, which is it's wild because I know you got to work on this release and there's different groups fiddling, and then at the end everything comes together. You're like, oh wow, that's a lot. We did a lot. So here we are. Let's do a quick round of intro just so that everybody knows who they're looking at. My name is Paulus. I'm the founder of Home Assistant and the president of the Open Home Foundation.
Oh, yeah. Let's add that on a
President.
little bit more. Be more impressive, Paulus. Jeez. I am Missy. I'm the community and social media manager and head of shit posting.
Oh,
Oh. Hi,
Go
I'm
ahead.
Madalena. I'm the lead of the product and design team at Home Assistant and Open Home Foundation.
yeah. And hi, I'm Frank. I'm the lead of Home Assistant. Also at the Open Home Foundation. So, yeah, here we are.
Exciting.
Together. Yeah.
I think we should start today actually with telling people that we're going to stream the state of the open home, right? So we are Home Assistant. We built the open home, not just Home Assistant. We built ESP Home and we were CWFTS, Zigbee, Matter, all that stuff, right? All the good stuff. We're having an annual update on the state of things in 2 weeks, 10 days. Damn. Okay, yeah.
That's scary. Don't say it like that.
Yes. So next week, Saturday, at this time. Is it the same time? Slightly different.
No,
Not
it's
sure.
slightly. It's an
earlier.
hour earlier. We
Hour
do it
earlier,
an
yeah.
hour earlier on the Saturday ones.
Yeah. So next week, Saturday, tune in. We'll be live streamed on YouTube. It is going to be awesome. We are Frank, Marlene, me, a bunch of others. We're all heading to a secret location, to a studio to record live a 2-hour live stream with a lot of good stuff. So you don't want to.
It's going to be one hell of a production again. This is so cool. Like we hired teams in the studio, and like this is going to be like all bling bling and like good stuff. Or like people with cameras running around, and I'm not sure how this all works, but yeah, I feel like being a I don't know,
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live host kind of deal. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
it's going to be, right?
It'll be close to last year though, right? Like it's the same studio.
Great
But we're
production
changing up the
value.
format.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it'll be really fun.
So if you don't want to miss this, make sure you hit the bell below, right? And subscribe to the channel, because then you'll be notified when we go live.
Oh yeah.
And
Yep.
there will be a link also to the video on the blog already. So
Hit the bell. The bell.
Cool.
Like and subscribe. You should like and
Like,
subscribe
yeah,
anyway. Just do
subscribe,
it.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So what's new?
God.
Where do we start?
That's a
Do we
lot.
start with the release? Is there did we do Matter? Is it since the last release, or that was in the last release?
Matter we sneaked in the last release, but also nice to highlight, right? Because
Yes.
we actually became Matter certified, which is a darn big deal.
It's a really
Actually,
Yeah. We got Matter certified before a couple other tech companies didn't we?
Yeah.
for the 1.3 spec. Yeah. So
nice.
what does it mean to be Matter certified? It means that we took our open source Matter server and we went through the normal certification flow, which, by the way, it costs a lot of money and time, and we're officially Matter certified. So the CSA Alliance, which administers Matter, has said the Home Assistant matters. Yeah. And so this is great.
Sorry, I couldn't not press that button. Yeah, but it matters. It's great.
Yeah, no, it is great. Like, I think for users, nothing really changes, right? Like we removed the beta label from the name, but it is because a lot of the things that we found during certification have already been fixed and have already been shipped as well. But it is a huge signal to the whole ecosystem. Like Home Assistant is not just an open source tinkering like hobby platform. It's the real deal, and we're following all the specs. We're making sure we can integrate officially with everyone, and so it's awesome.
Yep. It's like when matter starts to matter within Home Assistant, like matters really truly matters.
And
Exactly
again,
that.
it's the Open Home Foundation meta server, right? That's how it's.
Yeah, we had a bit of a. That's a long story, not a long story, but like we wanted to call it Matter Server, and they're like, well, you cannot call it Matter Server because it has to have something in front of it, and we're like, okay, Open Home Foundation Matter Server. They were like, well, it still has Matter in it. I'm like, yeah, but the other one has Matter in it, and finally that one was okay. So it took weeks, and we decided that Open Home Foundation Matter Server by Nabukasa is the official name. It doesn't really matter, right? This is an internal. It's actually cool. This is a software component. So by certifying, and this is a bit of technical certification nerdy stuff, but we certified our server standalone separately from Home Assistant, and then certified Home Assistant as a derivative of as a consumer of this server. And that means that other projects that want to get official Matter certified can build also on top of our Matter server. And actually, there's already a project that a company that does that. I know you guys remember the Plank, the Japanese company that makes a Plank Matter control. They are using our certified Matter server, so their certification was very cheap and fast because they could use our open source component, which I think
that's
awesome.
crazy. That's amazing, actually.
Yeah. So I see some people in the questions in the chat, by the way. Do we pay to use Matter? It's like we are a member of the CSA Alliance. It costs a lot of money. We certify our products to work with Matter. It costs a lot of money. There's a reason why some of these things cost money, right? Like running an alliance and making sure that everybody runs code that is compatible is actually a painful job. To get Matter certified, because we certified every device type. It had to they were testing if Home Assistant could control vacuums. They were testing if Home Assistant could control light bulbs, and not just one bit, but every way a Matter light bulb can be controlled, Home Assistant was tested against, right? So it's a very intensive project. We passed, and everything is open source. All the tests are also open source, so it will be very fast to replicate and recertify in the future. The first part is always the hardest, and we did it. So
it becomes something that everyone can truly depend on. I mean, it's not to say that every corporation's already use our Matter server to test their Matter products, but now it's it truly is dependable.
Well, that's the other side, right? Our open source server was already used a lot in development, and now it can actually be recommended also because it's like, hey, this is certified. They can guarantee this is the real deal.
By the way, when you said it's the Japanese company, is that the MUI board?
Yeah, the MUI board.
So this thing, right?
Yeah, they still haven't shipped it though. That's just it's kind of an interesting thing. That on one hand, I like it. On the other hand, I'm like, it's a Matter controller by itself, so it cannot,
Yeah, it should just work with Home Assistant.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks.
Yeah, we always say that everything works with Home Assistant, so a Plank should too, right?
That'd be great. I love that. That's an amazing aesthetic.
Yeah, I always like good aesthetics.
I was gonna say that could be easily laser printed out of on piece of wood, though, wouldn't it be able to be? I feel like that could be an ESPO project.
Yeah, good weekend 1 hour project.
Yeah, 1 hour project. Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh God, I hate 1 hour projects at this point. Okay.
Sorry, my bad.
What? So we jump into the release notes. Soto, we talked about Matter.
Yep.
I'm looking.
Should we talk a little bit about all the Open Home Foundation titles?
No, we'll do that at State of the Open Home.
Oh, okay.
We're going to not spoil that, but it's a good spoiler alert, right?
Sorry.
Pay attention now. No, it's okay. The 12th. Tune in. You should.
You should.
You should definitely tune in. All right. I think we should just dive into the dashboarding stuff because that, like, talking about aesthetics, and it's time for another update. Indeed,
It is
Darren, we will get to the time part in a
for
bit.
another update.
We should have
I
had
know.
Darren on.
Yeah, Darren, are you there? You want to talk about like your piece in a bit?
Yeah. Just
Yeah, I'll
ping
ping
me on
maybe.
Discord, Darren.
ping
We'll get
you.
you.
Yeah.
Give you a link. That would
Oh,
be
actually,
fun.
ping Missy on Discord. We'll get you.
Yeah. Ping me.
So
I'll
that's
give you a
well,
link.
let's- Let's talk about dashboard first, I guess.
Yeah.
So a little bit story, right? So for the past year, we had done a lot of updates in making it easier to build and customize your own dashboard. So we have the sections. We have a lot of improvements to the tile card. We have like the title card and the new badges. So most of the building blocks are ready. And so if you are someone who just want to build something very quickly, now you can. So that's the first step of the journey. Now the second step is we want our dashboard to be useful right out of the box. So even if you're someone who doesn't like to build dashboard, but you still want to use dashboard to monitor things in your house or control devices in your house, we want to make it as easy as possible. Right now, there isn't a way to do it. You have to build your dashboard from scratch pretty much. So we are trying to start revamping the default dashboard experiences. And we are happy to present the first step in this big product initiative with the introduction of a new dashboard called Areas Dashboard.
Do you have like are we going to dive in? Do you have an example? Paulus, I know, has
I have one ready.
I have my demo ready. So
okay,
Oh, okay, yeah.
we'll pull you in.
Good.
There we go.
cool.
Look at that. Can you like enhance FBI things a little bit because it's like a little bit
Zoom.
zoom. Look
A
at
little
that.
better. So cool.
TSA's,
So one of the first thing to find this feature right now, it is marked experimental, so it's not default for everyone yet. But if you're someone who want to like help us improve the future dashboard experience, we welcome you to try it out and add this to your your daily routine and see how that works out. So to do so, first of all, you go to settings and go to the dashboard section. So, for example, we had the old overview thing, energy dashboard.
Can we look at the old overview thing? Is that possible for you?
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's do. Just take a look at what we have right now. Oh God. So this is our current default dashboard, right? So the way we design it is that it is good for beginners. If you have like a smart home that was just beginning and you have like a few devices, it wouldn't be so much of a problem. It would just automatically add all the entities from all the devices that you have added in Home Assistant. However, as you start building your smart home, there will be more and more and more entities. And how many entities did I end up having? Let me see.
But it's perfect like this, Paul says.
644 entities. And so now all 644 entities will be visible on this page, which is not very usable, but at least everything is there. So this dashboard was made in a way that like it's meant to be something that you outgrow from, right? Like you were a beginner, you started with this, so now let's go build your own dashboard. We do want to change that a little bit, so like at least like make this experience better. So yeah, let's go back to the dashboard settings. So that was the original dashboard. And if you go to add dashboard here, you can still get that experience by choosing default dashboard. But what we want to talk about today is the new one that is right here. That was not here before. It's called the Areas Dashboard, and it's experimental. So the Areas Dashboard is the first of the many dashboards that we're going to roll out in the coming months that are automatically generated. So these are like smart dashboards that you can just edit and be done with it, and you don't need to do anything or any special like extensive customization. So let's see what happens. So click on that. I can see areas. Let me pick an icon for it. Floor plan. Yep. Cool. And create. And that's it. So now you can see that it is on my sidebar. It's also here. So I can click on it and see what it looks like. So usually, right, if you just generate a dashboard from scratch, right, it would be a blank page. So basically it would be like there's nothing in there. And a blank slate is very intimidating because now it's like, what am I going to put on this page? There's so many possibilities. So if you're a person who don't want to spend too much time building your own dashboard, or if you're a beginner in dashboard, just want to have something that works for you and your family, now you can have this option. So this is an area dashboard. It's not a lot yet, but I'm going to start with individual pages first. So as you can see at the top of the navigation, it has all the different areas within this home, in this Home Assistant instance. So like it has, the tabs are all automatically generated. So if I have these 5 areas, bathroom, bedroom, kitchen, living room, workspace, these tabs will also be right there in the navigation. And
they're,
yeah.
Marlene, it's good to know also here, they're automatically kept up to date, right? You add an area, you change an area name, you move a device around. These tabs, they're generated the moment you click on it, so they always have the latest data.
And I will show you a demo in that in a second too. So as you may see, like things are actually automatically categorized in sections already. So it has light, it has entertainment. If you have like a security camera or like something like that, it will have its own section as well. If you have a fan or like a thermostat, it will be in its own climate section, and so on. So it's all automatically generated, and also the title is automatically generated. So what Paula said is like, if I were to add something to a particular section, so for example, right now, let's see, if I take a look at my entities right now, you can see that I have bathroom, bedroom, kitchen, living room, and workspace. But then there's also a bunch of things that are not in any areas. So if I want to add any of these into like my own dashboard, now I can. So for example, if I and this is also one of the reasons why we added all these recently, right? So if I want to assign these to a living room area, now you can. So move to area, living room. So what happens now if you go back to the area dashboard and living room, all the lights that I've just added will be present in the list of lights that I have here. So far, so good. So obviously, when you look at this list, like it's all automatically generated, but I don't need all these lights. Like there's some of them I actually don't need to see all the time, and I want to hide it away. So we do have some customization options here. So instead of editing everything from scratch, if you click the edit button here, there are actually options that are specific to the area's dashboard. So for example, if I want to hide away all the bookshelf lights, studio lights, I can actually do that.
Can you show the drag and drop?
Oh yes, and also like if some of the lights are more important, you can rearrange it to the top.
Everything is drag and droppable now.
Miffy at the top, I can do that. So now Miffy light is at the top. Oh yeah, it turns on. Cool. Yep. And so like for example, another thing is like for example, if I don't want to show like this sensor because it's just gibberish, I can actually turn off that whole section altogether. If there are no entities in that section will be automatically removed. So everything automatic.
I mean, and this is the sections view, right? So it will automatically readjust for mobile. If the browser window goes smaller, they reorganize, and it will always stay as you expect from sections in the same Z-shape order. And so this will work on every dashboard.
It will look good everywhere on every screen automatically.
So one of the questions is, what about temp and humidity? And we actually have a special thing about those ones, right?
Yes. So
that's
let's
a
do a
good
little.
point.
That's a good point. So so like there actually this ability if you have actually temperature and humidity set up in the area settings. So if I go to settings and look at my areas, so you can see my 5 areas. Here, there's actually a setting that is for called related sensors, and it allows you to pick like the temperature sensors and the humidity sensor in that area. Let me see if I have, so in this room, I do have some sensors here, and I can pick to use that sensor to represent the living room, for example. So if I click save, now if I go to the living room, you can see that automatically the batch is added to the top.
Nice.
So that also goes to what we would call the overview page. So this page is design is not finished, and we would love to have your feedback on this. You can see that actually the batch that I added just now is also right here, the 63 degrees. So it's all automatic. But right now, this overview page is all the different areas that you decided to show. So for example, in here, you can actually rearrange the order. For example, if bathroom is not as important, you can rearrange it to the bottom. Kitchen doesn't look like there's a lot of things to show, so I can do that. So it's more balanced. You can also show and hide an area. So if I want to hide away the bedroom, I can also do that.
Nice.
So, and it will also hide away from be hidden away at the top navigation as well, if you do that. So this is a very much like the first version of this areas dashboard. We would love to see how you're using it. We'd love to see your feedback. So in our blog post, we actually have a special feedback form there. So let me see. Yeah.
Go fill it in.
Yeah, we definitely want you to go fill it in. Like, please let us know your thoughts. We would like to collect data to see like how everyone is using it. Like, for example, like there's a lot of times when we design something, it looks great in Figma, right? But like when it's in real life use, you realize that, oh wait, it's actually there are too many lights and it makes this section way too tall, and that's where it's unbalanced. And we want to see all those different use cases and different conditions. So your submission for like feedback and like how you use it will be very helpful for us to keep developing this feature.
Yeah, no, and I also think that like because every house is different, right? The way we use and configure Home Assistant areas is different. So we would love to also see like if something doesn't work, right? Like for example, I look at this screenshot now or the screen of Marlene. I'm like, well, those are too many entities for an overview page, right? Like it should be collapsed or something like this. Like we want to see your screenshots where you're like, this doesn't work for me, because we want to make sure that we have options or handle like all these different edge cases that we probably didn't think of.
Yep. Everyone used the dashboard differently, right? Here's actually an example that has a camera in it. And we want to make sure that like we intelligently choose the right card, like for different types of entities. So like using a tile card for a camera would not make sense. So in this case, we automatically use an image like camera card for that. And we want to see like if there's such logic would make sense for other types of entities too.
I find a comment from a California role very interesting here, because his opinion is that it doesn't look that experimental at all, which is a great compliment, by the way. But yeah, there are definitely tons of examples where things can be improved.
The experimental part is not the sections, right? We have the sections, we have the tiles. Those things are not experimental. They're live. The experiment is we're organizing things for you on the fly, and how we do that and how it's represented and how you can configure it. that's going to be some iterations left.
Yep, definitely. There were some more questions, by the way. I'm not sure if we have time for them, but we can maybe highlight a few. This one from Gary. Gary's asking, if you add a new device, will it be included?
I think we showed it, right?
Yeah. So if you add it to, if you add a new device and if you add it to an area, it would show up in that area's page.
Yeah. So if you pair a new device to Zigbee and you put it in the area, it will just pop up on that dashboard.
So if I add this, for example, and I add this to my
that will work.
Workspace, finish. Right. So now if I go to my workspace, it would show up like the Win Pro that I just added is right here.
Look at that.
You don't need to do any editing of the dashboard. It just shows up. It's amazing.
I can answer with a live demo. That's amazing.
It's like instant.
Yeah. All right. If you disable area control for an entity, will it show up in the area dashboard? Not fully sure. Disable area control.
I mean, if you override an entity's area, of course, it will show up on that area and not on the area of the device.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, if I but yeah, it's using device area right now. But if I do override it and say this actually belongs to the bedroom, let's see what happens. Update.
Refresh.
Refresh.
Refresh the page. Yeah.
Oh, yep, it's gone. And then
it doesn't subscribe to that one apparently.
And then it's right here now. Yep. Ooh. Yeah. And actually, we had like a survey that we sent out a couple of days ago on like how people name the entities. We realized that like about a third of you are not using areas at this moment. We are very curious how you organize your home, but like if you like to have like features like this, like this is a good time to do some spring cleanings and start putting your device into areas.
I mean, that was when I started using areas. I was like, "Oh, that is unavailable. I should fix that. I should like." It pops up like there's exclamation marks, and you just feel the urge of like fixing it. Of course, I restarted my Sonos, which I have to like unplug because it crashes like every week, and I've forgotten, and it crashed again. So now it's unavailable. But otherwise, all my other things are live now. It's really nice.
Like areas is becoming more useful in many areas now. Like for example, in voice command, you can say turn off the lights here, and it will know like the area that you're in. For automation, you can automate everything in one area soon, and you can trigger them as well in future.
Yeah. Spoiler alert again.
Oh no, spoiler! Sorry.
I think that kind of rolls well into this comment actually, because I had seen this a few times during beta. Some people have over 1,000 entities, and how does this impact them right now?
Well, look. First of all, if it doesn't work, don't use it. Like that's. But I think that we automatically filter out like a lot of types. Right?
We filter out a lot.
Diagnostic sensors not showing up. Like none of the sensors are showing up here either, right? Like unless it's configured and tied to an area. I think this should generally work. But of course, it all depends on what the 3,000 entities represent.
Exactly. Yes. And that's why we want your feedback, right?
Yeah, the thing I've seen is specifically the length of time it takes to actually load things up. So some people are noticing that the more entities they have, it's either freezing it or it just takes forever to do.
I mean, well, then don't have that many entities.
Like, so that's something
assistant.
Like I want to see what those 3,000 entities are and how you put it on.
What the thing is with entities, and I actually started doing that for my own system, is that you have to ask yourself, including for devices, but also in entities, why do you have those, right? Like I've just started disabling everything I don't use or am not interested in. I'm not interested in all those entities that control, like, I don't know, the color of the ring of my doorbell knob thing outside. Like, I'm not changing that anytime or anywhere, and I don't want to track it. I started disabling everything, and I got, like, of the 2,500 entities, there are only 495 enabled right now on my system. That cleans up a lot, like it's stuff that I don't look at, stuff that doesn't get recorded, stuff that doesn't have history, stuff that isn't backtapped, it's stuff that doesn't add to size or slowness. Like, yeah, actually it works pretty well for me.
But like, look, so that's how you look at the area dashboard, right? Set it up. Look what is showing up. If there's stuff showing on your area dashboard that you never look, just disable the whole device. Disable the entity, right? Just don't configure the dashboard to not show it. Just remove it from Home Assistant.
Yeah. Like these dashboards are like, we made a lot of design decisions for all the users. And like if there are things that are missing or showing too many, do let us know so that we will continue to iterate upon this.
I found somebody who agrees. Look at that.
Oh, someone agreeing with Frank.
Nice. So nice.
It is spring.
That's never
cool.
good.
Well, we have Darren here, so I guess we should. It is time.
Oh yeah,
it's time for Darren. Oh God, this is good. Where's Darren?
Oh no!
Oh,
hello.
Oh, Missy is off. Wait.
Well, Missy's
really gone.
But yeah, let's have some introduction for Darren. Tell us who you are.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
So, hello, I'm Darren. I'm the web developer for the Open Home Foundation and projects. I'll put that in there. So Home Assistant, ESP Home, Nabucasa, etc.
Like Darren is the one that built the beautiful Voice PE website.
Yeah, if you've seen that, it's like, oh my God, we're leaps and bounds ahead now. Thank you so much for the talent.
You're welcome.
Well, and the front end is leaps and bounds better now, right?
Yep.
It was about time, huh?
Well, in this case, Darren is a contributor, right? Like he was actually working. This is his hobby. This feature is actually coming from his hobby.
It came from a Reddit. Someone posted on Reddit saying, I made a contribution to Home Assistant. And then that's like, I want to do that too. And then Frank was like, you need a clock.
Exactly. We need a clock.
Yeah.
So, I never contributed to the front end before, but I am I do understand like lit and, various front end frameworks. So after getting my hands kind of getting used to how Home Assistant works, then the rest is pretty good. This site's really nice now.
Yeah,
I'm proud of this site.
It was coded by Darren, designed by Claire.
Yeah. And that picture was mine. Yeah, designed by Claire.
Oh, look at this animated event. Oh, look at that.
We'll talk about the Voice PE in a bit.
Yes, but now let's talk about.
For sure,
it's time to talk about the other features.
Well,
Darren, do you have a demo for it?
I just realized we forgot for dashboards to thank the people that have worked on it, because because Paul spent a lot of time on it. Marlene, you spent a lot of time on it.
Yeah, and Marston too.
Matthias, Martin, everybody. Tuning, tweaking it. So shout out to all of you.
Hey, don't forget yourself, by the way. I've seen you make a few PRs against it.
You made the feature. You make sure the cameras show up as a camera, not a tile card. So that was good.
Yeah.
So Darren, do you want to share your own screen for demo, or should I share my screen and you can talk about it?
No, Paul has summoned me out of thin air, so I have nothing prepared. So
okay,
if you have something
I'll share my screen and tell me what to do. So I have a blank dashboard right here, and now I'm in edit mode. So I guess we have something fancy from you. It's time to talk about it.
Well, again, completely off the cuff here, but so when we made it, we wanted to add, I thought maybe people had tablets and different things. I've got this Sonos NS panel that runs, and I have the clock card on there. So I wanted it to fit on this, as well as I know people have tablets, so big and small things. So you can go ahead and create the card wherever you like.
Yep.
And then one contribution, I cannot remember. I need to find the name of the person that did it. But the contribution was to add time zones and titles, which was a really good contribution. And so there's three sizes. You've got small, medium, and large, which just increases the font size that you can.
It automatically resizes the cards. Nice and large.
Nice.
I know people like it to go large.
So yeah, like
then,
Darren said, right? If you have a tablet that you want to mount in the living room, this can act as a great clock.
I
Yeah,
love the amount of settings that have got into this card, right? So now you can the time format, the time zone,
people
everything.
saying my microphone's a bit quiet. Am I too quiet?
Yeah, we can hear you, Darren. Yeah, keep going.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, again, this is my first card, so I tried to play with all the different settings that Home Assistant provides when you're doing a development on this, but to make it so it kind of fit in most situations. And then, yeah, the pull request that came in after I made this was to add titles and time zones, because people want to have, well, different representations of time in different places. So it was actually like a nice thing. And then the next thing I want to add is time badges. Badge.
Oh yeah, badge. Yeah.
Because as well on my
cool.
LNS panel, I've got the time badge, which is a mushroom card using templates. So maybe that
time
would be
badges. So let's say the other one. So this is the.
No, that one it's not there yet.
It's not coming. No, it's coming, but I want to do it, but it's not there.
It's a teaser.
Yeah, but yeah, like the time zone feature it's very useful, right? Because like I have relatives and friends living in different continents. I work in a job where everyone is in different continents as well, so it's good to like say like know where like say where Paul lives, you know, in France, you know, and I'm able to actually change this time zone to like where are they?
Yeah, +1 GMT.
Paris? No, Rome.
It's all the same time. You can pick Rome.
Paris.
Is
Cool. Yeah, and then it would show up here. So now I have the time for Paul, and like so
that's nice.
I can also have time for my family, like in China. So, well, that's a lot of time. So, wait, can I search?
Yes.
You cannot.
No.
I can confirm it's the right time. Thanks, Paul.
Good.
Well, there's Hong Kong, so it's like family. Cool. And now you can have all the clocks in the world.
Yeah.
Nice.
There was no like set design for this. It was just what I thought might look okay, especially when you go and take off. If you set it to 12-hour time, and also, by the way, aligning typography at different font sizes, horrible.
Sorry,
because Brown was working on this with me, and he said, "Oh, it'd be nice if you could align this." I was like, "Yeah, I could remove the flex and change it to grid." So we changed it to grid, and he's like, "Yeah, these don't align," and he's like, "I'll fix it." 30 minutes later, I hate this. This is horrible.
There are many options.
We didn't have the clock card.
So this is using AM PM right now, but like, you know, some people like 24-hour time, and you can actually change the time format in the main settings, profile settings here.
Yeah, you can also do it on the card as well, so you can do it on. You can change everything about it on the card.
It actually changes this automatically, or you can change it individually on the card too. So.
Yeah, but yeah, shout out to Brown who helped me do this, because he honestly, the title of the PR was "Add a simple clock card," and there was like 54 conversations and reviews. I'm like, yeah, simple.
Yep. I mean, that's the fun part about making a card, where there's actually so many possibilities you need to account for, even for.
But it just goes to show the amount of like detail we want to put into these. Like one suggestion, Brown said, maybe we shouldn't count seconds when the card is not in view. As if setting intervals of 1 second is going to harm performance that much, but like, yeah, they are considered.
I mean, Marlena already has 3 clocks, right? So
yep,
yeah,
like
there's 3 event listeners or intervals happening every second.
So what you are trying to say, Darren, is it took a lot of time.
I see how the next year is going to pan out for me now.
Yeah,
tons of
do you have time for another card?
It's actually not easy, right? Because I usually you used to be able to just show like the minutes and hour with like a markdown card, but showing seconds would be hard to keep it constantly updated. But now the clock card is constantly updated to the seconds.
And there were questions. yeah, I'm open to discussion about this, but like, oh, I want to have clock card in different fonts and stuff. And my response to that is like, I think we should be doing more work into making the whole experience of Home Assistant more personalized, because if I do it for one card, then there's no consistency between everything else.
You can add a theme per card, right? So
Yeah.
in the YAML. So if you add a
In
theme,
YAML.
you can just set Comic Sans or whatever your preferred font is.
Amazing.
But yeah, I think they're like, I don't know, they're like, what's next for the time? For the clock card, Darren?
It could be the date. It could be the week number. Like there was loads of examples of people saying, "Well, I found a hack thing that does it better." I'm like, yeah, well. So I think
I want the calendar card then, Darren.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
that would be fun. A date card, yeah. I mean, do you do a date card or do you do a separate card? There is actually one card I've been thinking of doing, which is like a grouping card, which allows you to add more cards to it, but it takes the UI of the child cards out, so you can make your own. It looks like you're making your own card based on other cards, and it strips out all the UI of the sub cards. So you can have a date card and a clock card, and then you have a daytime card.
That sounds like a maintenance nightmare.
I would love an analog.
Also sounds like vertical stack.
I like my idea for one card I want is one to stack media players, and basically it has like you see multiple cards behind each other, and automatically it selects the one that's playing.
Oh, that's cool.
I have like 8 media players, right? I have like it's like AirPlay, Cast, like at the whim, right? It's like 3 or 4 media players. It's like it should just be one media player in my system.
There's lots of feature requests.
There's actually a
1 hour projects coming in.
Yeah, definitely. And there is a proposal up for somebody, or somebody made a PR to like allow grouping and such, which kind of takes that away maybe. But there's some nice stuff in there to have an experience where you pull out and then set the volume for multiple ones in the groups and such. These are things that have been discussed recently, but it would be nice to see some progress in that department. I agree.
That's
someone else about an analog clock card, and I saw people request this, but like from the example, I can't find a nice UI for it. I would do it if there was a really nice design for it.
I don't know if you know this.
For it.
I was going to say, I don't know if you know this. We have a designer we could probably drag into this.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I want to just be mindful of time right now because we're 45 minutes in.
And we have a lot to still do.
We have another special guest, right?
Yes, but before we go to our special guest today, there's one more dashboard, or it's not really a dashboard, but a UI thing left that we haven't shown yet, which I think we should. I'm not sure if you were thinking about the same that one, but I will give it a go. What's the thing you do? You have a demo for it?
I thought you were talking about the
which one?
But
yes, no, the more info.
Yes. Oh. Okay. So
there we go.
So that is actually new. So
that's fully new.
So it is part of the initiative that we have
been.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So
back to area dashboard.
There we go.
Cool. So like that's one of the things that we want to work on more is showing the name and giving the right amount of context so that you know what you're looking at. So for example, you can right now for people to name things, a lot of times they have to prefix it with the name of the area. We want to make sure that that people don't need to necessarily do that, while at the same time still knowing what that device is. So for example, in this case, I used to name this bedroom cloud light, but like in future, we have this extra thing here, which is like a breadcrumb in a way to show you the context of what this light actually is and where that come from. So for example, Miffy light is in workspace, which I just assigned to. So that's right there. And
but then you can also click on workspace, right? So
so like you can actually see all the context of that light, right? Where it is from and what it is about. So if you click on that, it actually brings you to the related page which is available for admin, but not for secondary users. So you can see that like the integration that it comes from, the areas it's assigned to, and the device where the entity is within.
So I love this one. Just to quickly jump to the device page, because like device info page is my like happy place for when I'm like admining my UI, right? And so
Same. Yeah.
I just quickly go there.
This is great.
Yeah, so you
The
can get
goal-
to that if you go to the ... menu on the right, related at the bottom. That's the same thing as where the breadcrumb is going to.
So the thing that we're trying to do here is that what we see a lot happening, and most people do, and I do as well, by the way, I'm renaming basically every single entity in my system to prefix it with the area or device name to make something useful of it. So I'm basically actively like renaming hundreds of entities, which in a way is just weird. So what we're trying to do right now is make a start to sprinkle more context around the UI so that no matter where you look, you get a context of where that entity is. Where is it from? Which area is it in? And even which floor, if that is not unique enough for an area, it will add the floor to it. Yeah. And in that way, you can always see what you're looking at. So if you have an entity called battery, there's no need to prefix it for the more info dialog anymore. It will just show you where it's from. And the goal is to do the sprinkling across the UI on more places. So it becomes unnecessary to rename all of these things because that shouldn't just be needed. Yeah, this is a great example, by the way.
Yep. Yeah, because in this case, it used to be just one long string at the top of the title bar, which would be like workspace, Miffy, light, speed. And it will be a very long piece of text, and sometimes it might not even fit in the title bar. And because since everything is in large font size, you don't know which part of the text is actually most important. Now, speed is like the part that is emphasized the most. And if you want to know, oh, okay, what speed it is, now you can see the context right above.
Yeah, I cannot wait until we have this like everywhere, right? Because we have this data, we're just sitting on it, and we can like my favorite page, device info page, right? It's so ready to just be like improve context,
more improve. A lot of shit can be added there, like a lot of context can be added all over the place. And but hey, we started somewhere now, so that's good. We're going to roll this out. And actually, we started working on this already. Just to give you an indication how long sometimes things take to get here. Just to make this change happen and this show up like this change already started about 2 years ago in the backend. And we're still migrating today. So this has been in the preparation for a long time. And it's good to see this finally, slowly, like dripping into the UI.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of stuff, right? We built into the backend, like, oh, now you can set the name differently. You don't have to concatenate. You specify the entity name differently. Then we allowed entity name translations. And then now all the integrations had to adopt it. And now, 2 years further, okay, every major integration that has a lot of users has been updated. And so we can start rolling out these kind of things.
So better is saying, should I remove all my area prefixes now? Probably not just now, but we're going to work towards a place where it's no longer needed. That's the goal.
Yeah, also, area prefixes are good. I still like, device names should kind of be going out of entities ideas, right? Like I've added temperature sensor. I want to have a living room temperature. And nowadays it ends up in my system as living room temperature, humidity sensor, temperature.
Temperature, yes, it's the same. I make it shorter by H and T in the middle.
Oh, that's the
device.
Yeah, that one. So I really like this new title bar update. Like it's a small details, but like it makes the user experience a lot more mature, and also the appearance of it a lot more like detailed and sophisticated. So great job, everyone who worked on this. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Christian. Oh, well.
So if you've been following, like that we had like done architectural proposals on this. We just a few days ago we had the survey sent out. We got a 400.
We haven't served open on this one. Yeah,
we've been testing like how people name things, and so how we can do this correctly. We don't want to mess up your naming,
Nope, definitely not. All right, that actually I think.
Is
Quickly
dashboard.
scrolling on the side. I think we covered everything about dashboards and UI, which already took us 50 minutes. Yeah. Well, thanks, Darren, at least for your time there and the time and such. So that's
Anytime.
Anytime.
come by anytime. Yeah. So thank you so much. That's awesome, mate. Thank you for dropping by. You can stay on, by the way, if you want to, but you can also.
I don't mind. Did you say you're going to talk about voice?
Not
We're going
yet.
to talk about voice, but before we do, we actually have a guest today, which I probably would like to invite on stage. Right? That's a good time to do it right now. Yeah.
Let's pull them up.
I won't take up more room. I will leave you to have a conversation.
Right.
Well, we'll
Thank
miss
you,
you,
Darren.
Darren.
Thank you,
Thank you for joining.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for your time,
We'll
man.
see you in the Discord party afterwards.
Yeah, I will
Yes.
do that.
Oh, yes. We have a party afterwards on Discord.
Yeah.
That's indeed true.
Bye.
Bye.
You're invited
Thank you
too,
so
by the
much.
way.
Thanks for the
watching.
time.
I'm going to go and cry.
All right. Yeah, because we have a very special guest, because as you have followed our blog, we have a Works with Home Assistant program. These are partners that go the extra mile to certify with us, to show that they not only build technology that works locally, it is technology that aligns with our values, privacy, choice, sustainability, and stuff that, we look at it, we make sure that it's designed to last, and it lasts a long time. And one of our new partners is Motionblind, and they are doing some cool stuff. They have Bluetooth-based blinds. They have Matter over Thread-based blinds powered by Eve, which I have myself as well. They work very well. And so we have Jerry from Motionblinds. Oh, I thought now Jerry's going to come.
No, I misclicked. I want to click Jerry. It's just the button next to it.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
well,
Hey there, Jerry.
Hey, Jerry.
Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing?
Well,
Jerry, you're before we get into like Motionblind, whatever, I just want to tell this story from CES, because Jerry was in Las Vegas at CES, and so were Frank, I, and Malena, and we're hosting this Home Assistant gathering, and Jerry is there, and it's in this bar, and Jerry has his backpack, and he's carrying around his blinds, and so every conversation he just whoop,
like
can I
a
show you my
sword,
blinds?
like a sword. Like
A samurai of blinds.
I actually have the bag with me just because I knew this was gonna happen during the talk. So
No
I have
way.
the bag, I have the blinds here, so
That's good.
we'll show them in the stream.
Okay. Are you going to?
So-
Oh, of course he's going to show them. Yes.
Yeah, trying to
I mean,
do a
so-
live demo on setting up Matter over Thread, but also Matter over Wi-Fi, to give people what I saw during the few days that we've launched the partnership, that people still trying to figure out how does Eve Motionblinds and Motionblinds work. And Coulisse is the company that does the development of Motionblinds. So we're a company that does the window coverings. I've been doing that for 30 years. And part of that is Motionblinds, where that's our motorized window covering solution. And we have two different options, where we have the Eve Motionblinds, which is, as you said, Paul, is done by Eve Home. They have their Matter over Thread chip on our motors, and that allows you to connect these motors directly with either Apple Home, Google Home, or just use the ZBT1 from Home Assistant to directly connect our motors onto your Home Assistant. And congratulations with the Matter certification. Together with that, we have a perfect solution with Home Assistant to easily set up your Motionblinds and all of the Matter over Thread devices on Home Assistant. And we also have our Bluetooth and 433 range that we also the certified with you guys is working over a bridge, and that allows you to talk Matter over Wi-Fi and allowing you to do also the same stuff, but not with the Eve motors. It depends on where you start with your smart home endeavors. Some people start with a Bluetooth motor that has simple timers and eventually thinks, hey, let's get more into smart home. And they'll start building and having 20 entities on their dashboard until they have 30,000 entities on their dashboard. So wherever you start, Motionblinds is a good way to start with window coverings. So
that's actually the nice thing about Matter, right? They have this bridge type where basically for hubs that bring other ecosystems into the Matter world. So like you said, 433, Bluetooth, it doesn't matter. You put your hub, Matter over Wi-Fi can expose like 1, 2, 5 blinds all from a single device into the Matter ecosystem. And that has been, I think, the power of Matter to really be the one standard fits all to really bring everything in. And so, like you said, like you just buy a hub and now you can expand your smart home, even if you started not with a Matter compatible setup, and now you are, right? And I think that's awesome.
So it might be cool to showcase what I have here on my table here in my living room, actually. So try to switch over to a different view where I can showcase.
It's not a blind, it's Paulus.
I was going to say, no, let me get Jerry up on the big screen. Sorry, guys.
No. But I have one of our blinds, actually, which this in this case, it's a Bluetooth motor. What we have here as well is the pull function that allows for the, don't want to say the wife acceptance factor. So it's the partner acceptance factor, I would say.
Home approval factor.
Home approval factor. Okay. Yeah. So, but it allows you to simply pull the cord, but for any user that doesn't really know how to control it with the app or with voice or whatsoever, you can always pull this small cord and to operate it to any position that you like. So this is
always good to have controls that don't need an app.
Yeah. In this case, it's actually a Bluetooth motor. So in order for us to control it, we have our Bluetooth app, and in this case I've set up as the Home Assistant setup, but also I have it set up here in our latest Bridge app that is also certified with you guys, and it is quite easy to just add it in here. I also have the controls in here, but to just share this specific blind with Home Assistant, I'll just go to the Matter settings. I request this pairing code, and I copy this into Home Assistant.
What are you doing? Add a Matter device.
So it's completely new. I don't have a QR code, but I can put in the pairing code. Now, drum roll, if everything goes right. It's always
this is cool, right? Your Home Assistant, we tie into the Android system here to get this set up, right? It works really well. How the Matter onboarding flow, how this handoff is working, right? Because you see that Home Assistant talks to Google talks to Motionblind gets now added to the Home Assistant Matter fabric.
Yeah, and as you see, it's already been added right now, and it's added the bridge as the controller, and I have the roller blind here, and I can control it to any position I would like to have. So this works directly over Wi-Fi, and if I want, I can also use the pull function, and it updates automatically. So it doesn't matter if someone's using your pull or using the app or whatever. You always have the latest position of your blinds and give you the feedback that you want. So that's what we have for the Bluetooth motors, and of course we also have the Matter over Thread, and then we'll have this QR code that has the Matter QR code, and it works quite similar, just using Thread as a transportation protocol, and then gives you the seamless integration as the bridge does as well. But it removes the bridge, because bridges in a way are necessarily maybe not a bad thing, but they're indeed old school. And Thread we think is a future, but there's not a lot of devices yet that are based on Thread. So as the future changes, more and more devices will have Thread, and you won't need additional bridges, and you'll be able to control your blinds and all your accessories in your home over Thread.
Yeah. And this is where, with the Works with Home Assistant program, things have to last 10 years. And actually, it's pure Matter over Thread device without any extra thing will just keep working, right? Like, let's say Motionblind goes out of business, the app is pulled from the App Store, nothing exists anymore. It doesn't matter, right? You just put down, you can install this blind, even if you start from scratch, you scan that QR code and the device is added to your network. You might have to factory reset it in between, but it's just fully local, right? No data is shared with anyone, and that's the...
And for us, that's also really important. That's why we don't want to include a remote control for setting up the end limits. We are able to set the end limits on all of our motors by the motor itself. So we have additional buttons on the motor to set your end limits together with the pull function, because we don't believe in remotes anymore. Of course, we still have them, we sell them, but people have automated homes, and everything is going to go by if the sun is hitting your window. We know that because, of course, Home Assistant knows where the sun is. So just close your blinds whenever it's needed, and temperature-wise. So you might want to have the manual override for those times that an automation is not necessary, but you don't want to be looking for the remote that's in a drawer somewhere that people placed. So that's what we believe, that getting a smart home and getting your blinds connected to the home is the perfect solution. And that's why we also wanted to be part of the partner program, because we think blinds are a small part of the entire home, and the philosophy behind Home Assistant is also something that we really believe in.
And it's, for us, it's we didn't have blinds yet, which, we have this goal for our Work with Home Assistant program, that we want to make sure that we cover every device type in every region around the world, right? So somebody in like Brazil, England, and India should all be able to buy devices in every category that, respect their values and work locally. And so we need to have Work with Home Assistant partners for everything. And like for blinds, we had zero coverage at all, right? And so now, we have Motionblind, which is a good start. So yeah, yay.
Yeah,
I must say, I'm really intrigued by the fact of automating with blinds. Like, for example, I would really love to make an automation that like sees that the shower is being used, right? And then like I can detect hot water in the boiler being on. Would be nice to then lower the blinds already in the dressing room, right? So you can just walk in without worrying that like somebody's looking inside and things like that.
You can do it easier. Cool. You can just do a humidity sensor, right? High humidity in the bathroom, close the blinds.
Right.
Didn't you get a blind, Frank, to test out?
Yes, I did for my office. Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Jerry. Yeah, I got one for my office. That's true. But that doesn't have the shower automation to it. But yes, it's definitely nice to lower it when the sun comes in, right? That's a good one there, definitely.
I use a blueprint called it's like a sun control, a cover control automation, CCA. And it can automatically adjust your location, and like because the sun is in a different position at a different point in time, if you're in a different longitude or latitude, right. Yeah. And so it actually calculates that automatically of how much the blinds need to be lowered, for how much shadows you want to cast in the room.
I see quite some questions regarding the prices of blinds, and I think that a lot of people think that blinds are quite expensive, but I understand why that is, because most of the time they're made to measure. So if you want to order your blinds, you'll get them custom made, and that's already, even if you buy a manually operated blind that is made to measure, is typically not cheap-ish, but we have the best way to find where you can buy your blinds is on our store locator on motionblinds.com. There you'll be able to find what type of dealer or online store has motion blinds. But I might be able to show we have also this upgrade kits that allows you to upgrade your existing roller blinds, because we don't want people to throw away their good existing blinds. They can, in a lot of cases, just buy an upgrade kit from, let's say Walmart or whatever, where you can buy a motor with bracket set, depending on the type of roller blind you have. And you're able to either use the Bluetooth motors or our Eve motion blinds, and then you're able to upgrade your existing rollers. Unfortunately, we have a lot of different type of products, not just rollers. We have curtains, Venetians, all type of blinds that we have motorized for. But upgrading a Venetian, for instance, is quite difficult. So for those products, you typically have to go to dealers or to get these motorized. But rollers are easier to motorize yourself. So the upgrade kits are a great addition to get started with the motorized window coverings.
Hey, Jerry, I have you told me one point, and I think this is a cool story. You guys use Home Assistant in the factory as well, right?
Yeah, indeed. We use it we started I think 3-4 years ago. We had one of your contributors, Star Killer OG. He sent us a message like, hey, I saw you have a bridge and you have an API. I might be able to make an integration for you guys. And at that time, I was at Demotics, which was okay, but didn't allow Motionblinds to be working. And I'm like, okay, he's going to make an integration. Let's start to transition to Home Assistant. And then I fell in this rabbit hole of endless integrations and devices. And now, a lot of devices in my home work over Home Assistant. But then we also wanted to do duration tests for our motors to see if they get the amount of cycles that we want, or to figure out the battery percentages on how many cycles you're able to get on a battery. So we started integrating Home Assistant in our office to see how often these devices are able to go up and down, when they break, and Home Assistant is a perfect solution for that, because what's not to love about Home Assistant and automations and combining it with work. So it's a good solution.
Wow.
That's sweet.
That's so cool, actually. Sorry. That's just cool. That I didn't know. So that's something I learned today.
Good.
Wow. Thanks, Jerry. That's amazing. And great to see you guys are now works with Home Assistant partners. So
thanks for having me. And I'm happy to see you guys in, I think, 1 week. I think at least Frank might be coming to our office, and Paulus, you're happy to join a week later, because
if the coffee is good, I might hop by a few times more. It's 10-15 minutes from my home, so it's fine.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, guys.
Jerry.
Bye-bye.
Awesome.
So we are working with a lot of more companies that are coming down the pipeline for the Works with Home Assistant program. Miranda is going to give a great update at the State of the Open Home about the things. But we have a nice lineup for the rest of the year. We've been testing a lot of devices. There's a lot of cool, also big names coming, like names you know, names you use and have already. So very stoked about that. Keep an eye on the State of the Open Home and our blog to see what else is coming. And, we really appreciate the companies joining our program. I think that we're not just a, made for Google, works with Alexa kind of program where anyone can just get the badge when you, if it works certification wise. No, we test to make sure okay, this is work local. We do not allow cloud companies in our program, right? Just for example, it has to work local. It has to fit in your home. It has to just keep working for 10 years. So,
yeah. Sustainable.
Yeah. So stay tuned for Miranda's update next week.
All right. Hey, with that, we're slowly running out of time, because we have a few big features still to discuss, huge ones. So I want to speed things up a little, if you're okay with that, and dive into the halfway point. Yes, and go into the next big ticket item, because we have, well, it's actually multiple items. Voice.
So let me do this one, and let me start with the Voice Wizard.
Oh, okay. I do have something that I would like to talk about first for Voice Wizard. So I do want to preface it with one of the free Open Home Foundation principles is privacy, choice, and sustainability, and this is choice. So this is what we want to do and achieve with the voice visit is to give users an informed choice, right? A lot of companies, when it comes to like widgets like that, they fall into dark patterns and like makes people subscribe for things that they don't need. But in this case, we want to make sure that you're making the right choice, picking between different options here. So I guess Paulus can show us what that page is about.
Can somebody add my screen?
Yes, I will.
All right,
There we
so
go.
this is Home Assistant Voice PE. Now, the voice wizard works for any voice device that is being made for Home Assistant, right? Based on ESP Home. So we're building this whole ecosystem. It's all open source. Other companies get the same experience. And so I'm gonna just open the voice wizard like this. Normally, when you set up a device, first time you connect it to Wi-Fi, add it to Home Assistant, this wizard already pops up. Well, I have to do it manually because I had already set this one up. First, we check for updates. I have it right here. I have it muted. I'm actually going to do I'll just do the full wizard until we get to the point. Okay, Nabu.
Wait, mute your voice assistant.
Sorry, that's true. I'll just press skip. That was not a good move. Okay, this one is going to be in the office. All right, now we are at the voice wizard. I can put the device away. We don't need it anymore. So
the screen that we were talking about.
Yeah, so this is the screen that we've updated. So a couple of months ago, we released speech to phrase. Speech to phrase is a new speech to text engine that we've developed that is limited to the amount of sentences that it can transcribe and understand, but those sentences are automatically generated and tuned based on your Home Assistant system. So it can knows the device names, it knows your area names, it knows your floor names. So you can say, turn on the lights in the living room. You can say, turn off the lights. You can do basically every popular, most common voice task you can do with speech to phrase, and it works super fast. It is like a second of processing time on a Home Assistant Green, which is really fast. And so we wanted to show that to people when they pick Home Assistant and they just want to have basic voice controls. Well, a Home Assistant Green and a Home Assistant Voice Preview Edition is all you actually need. Now, of course, if you want to do things like shopping list, which is open-ended, we don't know what you want to add to your shopping list. Speech to phrase is not supported. If you want to use AI, large language models, any commands that like you want to say anything, that's also not supported with speech to phrase, but those are supported with Home Assistant Cloud. And so we allow users to choose. We actually also, and of course there's Whisper. Whisper is a open-ended speech to text model that can run locally, but it's very heavy. So unless you have a bigger machine, you're not going to have a good time. It also doesn't work for many languages. So in this case, what you're looking at is for American English. You can see Home Assistant Cloud. The performance is perfect. I mean, the performance for Home Assistant Cloud is always perfect because we do all the processing in the cloud.
That is the performance on a low-powered device too, specifically.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. And because the moment you start speaking, it is being streamed to the speech-to-text engine, and the moment you're done talking, that you get the text back, we're processing it is super fast. Now, for American English, if you look at focused local processing, you see that language support is ready to be used. And the reason that is the case is because with local processing, like I said, there's no shopping list. You can never have the full experience. So we show it with 2 bars. And then if you use Whisper, the performance is going to be bad. You're going to have a bad time unless you have big hardware, preferably like not your Home Assistant box, but like another server. You can have a good time. But if you run this on your Home Assistant server, you're not going to have a good time. Language support, of course, you do have the full command range. Now, English is the one where Whisper really excels. So let's look at something that is a bit more...
Cantonese? I speak Chinese. Cantonese.
Well, I was going to do Dutch because
you can do Dutch.
It's a bit more...
that one is unsupported.
So, again, Home Assistant Cloud, all the Dutch sentences are translated. Language support is fully supported. It is super fast. Focused local processing, also, it works. It's fast, but because it's focused, it's speech to phrase, it is not has full language support. And you can see here, Whisper, we don't even offer it because the word error rate, the quality of Whisper is so so low that it's just a bad experience. Like you keep rephrasing, you keep saying it again and again,
Yep.
and we don't want to make people happy and say you get full local speech to text if it's not going to work, right? Because you're going to get frustrated. It's annoying. So now during the wizard, you see immediately like, oh, I can get with Home Assistant Cloud, everything works fully low. I get full support, or speech to phrase. I get most of the experience. And that's the power of the voice wizard now. And the moment you click next, everything will be automatically installed, right? So this requires an add-on to be installed. The speech-to-phrase add-on will be installed. The Piper add-on, which is our text-to-speech engine, will be installed. Everything will be linked up, and you can start controlling your house fully local after this step.
Mm-hmm. So I want to say that like this looks really simple, right? But a lot of work has actually been done to simplify it, to make it these three easy choices. As Hollis has described, each of these will install a different pipeline for you with totally different set of add-ons or no add-ons, like with the Home Assistant Cloud. And to do so, like we want to balance between what you're doing, but at the same time, like we want to provide you enough information so you're making the choice, so you're making the right decision with the hardware that you have. So you're not choosing something wrong that your hardware cannot run. And I do want to show a little bit of behind the scenes, because I think this looks so deceptively simple, but in the back is actually I'm going to remove pause for a second and add this. We actually have a whole table of all the language that we support, right? That we created. JLo put a lot of time on this, and the different types of pipelines, right? With Home Assistant Cloud, the level of support, with the local speech-to-text like Whisper and Piper support, and then lastly with the speech-to-phrase. And we rate them all like with a grade for different pipelines, and we give them a final score for that. And a lot of work has also been done to make sure that this set of data is continuously updated, so that if we start having new support for a certain language, this table will be this data set will be automatically updated, and the wizard will be automatically updated. And also the page that is here on the Home Assistant voice, check supported language. Not yet, but it will, right? Just want to make sure. So it will be updated as well, so that it will have a consistent data set. Thank you so much for all the work that have been put into this. It looks so simple, but it's
JLo, Matthias, and then Mike on the back end, and Bram on the front end have put a lot of work on this. With it all work. It's now you're showing the whole design, right?
Yeah, there's so many phases, iterations.
In the end, right? It's just a 3-step wizard that you see one time. But we've put a lot of thought on it, because onboarding is one of the most important parts. And voice is so complicated, right? Speech to text, intent processing, text to speech, everything has to work, right? And then for every language, that's hard.
And I do want to just emphasize that this amount of work is put into this because we respect our users. We want you to know the right information to make the right choice. Like whether you should use the cloud or you should use the local pipeline, we want you to see that data first before you make the choice.
Yeah, it would be so easy, like most of the companies do, right? Just do everything cloud and single install cloud done and sign up and subscribe to or whatever not. But that's not what we want to do, right? We want to make everything pluggable, extendable, which also makes things a little bit more complicated at times. So that's why this all is in place to help users getting on board with that.
If we were an ordinary corporation, we will make subscribe to Home Assistant Cloud as big as possible. But then
you should, by the way, just saying, it's not a bad thing. You should definitely subscribe to Home Assistant Cloud, because that's why we are here, sitting here, and we're being able to work full time on a project.
Yes, I mean, well, you want to just dive into that spiel that if you do like the work and you want to support what we're doing, make sure you subscribe to Home Assistant Cloud by Nabukasa. This will give us budget. That budget goes into the Open Home Foundation. It pays people to work full-time on Home Assistant, ESP Home, VoiceTub, Zigbee, Z-Wave, Matter. You name it, we have people working on it, our mobile apps, all that stuff, right? And it doesn't happen out of nothing. Like, we need to get paid to do this full time because we also need to eat. And just
Thank
help
you,
us.
James.
Yeah,
Just
and
like
thank you,
James.
That's great.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's the
definitely
smoothest
subscribe to
transition,
Cloud
man.
by Nabukata.
But this is not the only thing we improved on voice, right?
Oh, we've improved
There
so
are
much.
so like this is onboarding, which is cool that we do it. But I want to talk about the really exciting stuff. Like, I have this thing in my home; it works. But what can I do with it this month, Paulus? Because there are
Yes.
some amazing things in here.
Yes.
Go.
Okay, go. Ah! Okay, so we're doing a lot of cool stuff. I want to make sure. I think this one is still set up right. Mine has actually a Pokemon on. That's because we published the 3D models, and somebody made a Pokemon version, and I'm just trying it out because why not? It looks really cool. I think Pokemon is red up, right? Yeah. There you go.
Some kind of animal ball thing, right?
So we have 2 new cool features, and I'm going to show them. Both are related to large language models. We are bringing both of them to the normal intent processing as well. Those are a bit more complicated because it's a bit more manual. Large language models are just a bit easier to program with. So I'm going to show it. The first one is what we call continue conversation. So with continue conversation, normally if you would ask a question that was not specific enough and the large language model needed to be like clarify, you would have to say the wake word again. Well, that's annoying because now you're saying the wake word twice. Well, you just got a question. Why shouldn't you be able to respond? So we fixed that. So let's see. Start a timer.
Sorry, I am not aware of any device called a timer.
I just managed.
We forgot the demo time banner.
I knew this was going to happen. If you do the wizard, it is we changed the intent, the process.
I need set file in here.
I think you changed it to Dutch or something, right?
No, this is right. This is okay. Let's try again. There's always good. The best demos are happening. Start a timer. It's taking longer. That's good.
How long would you like the timer to be set for? Please provide the duration in hours, minutes, and seconds.
Oh, this is another demo fail because I don't know why it was specific, but like it didn't really, it didn't end in a question mark. It didn't end in a question, and so we didn't know. I'm going to start again. This is the problem with AI. That's why, by the way, you see like Amazon and Apple, they're all announcing that they're going AI full. We're not doing that, right? We're calling it an AI playground for exactly this reason, because we don't trust it yet. We cannot control it. It's a black box. But I'm going to do third time is the charm, right?
Yeah.
Start a timer.
Please provide the duration for the timer in hours, minutes, and seconds.
Oh, you know what? I need to reset the conversation. Whatever. I'm going to do the other demo first.
Live demo.
The problem is we have continued conversation, and so it has the history, and so it's repeating itself.
I have the demo at hand. You recorded. Do you want me to show that one?
I guess so.
Yeah, I do have the backup. So let's use that
we'll
one.
do backup.
That's why Amazon and Apple don't do like live demo for LLMs, because they know they will slip.
Okay, Nabu. Set a timer.
For how long would you like to set the timer?
10 seconds. So no wake word again,
the 10-second timer has been set.
If it works,
beautiful
it works.
timer animation.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I paused the beautiful timer animation.
That's all right. Cool. So that's one part, right? This is one of the things that we can now do. Continued conversation. As you can see, there is still not perfect, but it's a good start. The second one, can somebody share my screen?
Yes.
We have added support. So there's 2 new features actually that are happening. One
I need to remove you first somehow. Let me do that.
So the 2 things that change. One, if an announcement is being played on the voice preview edition, it will now play a little bell, little pre-announcement sound. And we've done this because we noticed that, like, if you notify in your room, like, laundry is ready, but you don't ring a bell, then all of a sudden it's like, you need to, you're doing something, right? Like, somebody starts just talking to you. You need to be aware that somebody's going to start talking to you, or you're going to miss the first word or something. So we have a little bell now, which I'm going to play as well when I hit start conversation. But the other new feature, and we had brought this one to analog phones first, it's now at the voice preview, and this one is really cool. It's called Start Conversation. And with Start Conversation, the voice preview edition will start talking to you. You give it some context as well, and then you can start responding. So in this case, I'm going to start a conversation. I'm going to send it to my voice my voice assistant. I'm going to say the message, what is your favorite color? And then in the extra system prompt, I say, once you receive the color from the user, respond with an animal in that color. And I haven't tested this because why would you prepare demos? I'm doing this on the fly. So first of all, notice the bell sound, and then notice the start conversation. The bell sound, by the way, you can disable it and you can configure it. So if you think, well, the bell sound of Home Assistant sucks, and I want to just have like some other ding dong sound from any other thing in the world, you can actually do that, right? We allow configuration, we allow overriding that kind of stuff because it's cool. All right. I am going to hit, I'm going to click perform action. So this is the assist satellite start conversation. This is never going to work now that I'm in this like death loop of like horrible demos, but we're going to try it.
What is your favorite color?
Green.
A green animal is a frog.
Nice.
So nice.
So what you saw here, it worked, right? We give this background information. The user doesn't know this background information. When we send this to the AI alongside with the conversation, what is your favorite color? And green. Now, this is a very dumb example, right? I mean, it's a fun one if you want to mess with your kids. However, what is cool here is that you could say the garage door, and then you give the entity ID like cover.garage door 2 has been left open for 30 minutes. We just ask the user if they want to close it. And the message to the user is, do you want to close your garage door? You left it open. The user answers yes or no, and it will just work. It understands from the background context, oh, this is the entity I need to act on.
I must say, Paulus, this is the feature that I've been asking for like since we started the voice assistant idea. This is by far the most favorite voice feature for me that has been released to date. I have so many ideas for this one. I want to get home and open the door and it sees me joining the Wi-Fi network and it will say, welcome home, Frank. Do you want an update on the latest news, or shall I play some music for you? And you can just, with the continued conversation, right, you can just like respond with, well, I would like to hear some jazz, and it would just like go into Music Assistant and start playing stuff on my speakers. Yeah. And I don't know, like I can think of a million things I could do with this, making the voice assistant proactive in your home instead of like having to shout the wake word, but let it react and respond and start the conversation and start the interaction. This is something that no other assistant can do, right? No matter if you Google or Amazon or any of the others, like the Sonos one, or there's none of them that can do this. There's so much stuff you can do with this. I am over the moon. So thank you so much for this.
No, it's going to be very cool to see what's coming out of this. I know JLo was experimenting with, I think he has a to-do list. So every time something happens in his house that he should know about when he comes home, he added it to the to-do list. And then when he comes home, he could be like, yo, what's like, this thing can ask him like, hey, you want to have the update since you left? And then we just read all the items from the to-do list with like the notifications from different automations or whatever, right? And just tell him and then just check it off the list and it's done.
That's amazing. Like, can't wait to see all the blueprints that come out of this.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Talking about JLo, he actually shared and made a video that I have staged if we want to. On a use
case, better example than my frog.
Oh, it's good. But this is more of a real life example. So we're going to watch a video clip JLo made from his home using the start conversation. It has the little bell in it. and it has continued conversation in it. So we get the whole enchilada here of things that we've added to voice right now. So let's pay attention. Here we go.
Yeah.
The oven is on. Do you want me to set a timer to help you with your cooking?
Yes, please. That's a good idea.
How long should the timer be set for?
10 minutes.
The 10-minute timer is set.
That's really cool.
That is amazing.
This is just nuts. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is so cool. This is so cool. So yeah, a very useful one that I would see, and I am dying to learn more of these, because this is a whole new spectrum of automations, right? We were all used to motion detection, line turn on, but this is like a new era of other things we can automate and play with. I'm excited to see what everybody's coming up with and the creative part of this one.
It's a great way to help with the executive function things that you end up failing to remember. JLo's example is just so great with that. Like, hey, you left the oven on. Do you want me to set a timer, or do you want to turn it off?
Yeah. Or you left the garage door open, you want me to close it. If somebody rings the doorbell, you change the bell sound. And maybe you can even like capture a snapshot with your camera, throw it through AI, so it tells you there's a man for the door with a package for you, right? It looks like a bill guy or something. Like, you could do this kind of stuff, and like, I don't know, this is going to be amazing.
And don't forget that even oh yeah.
I mean, I really like this because, like, I mean, like, voice interfaces has been around for a decade, but, like, you know, the follow-up questions, like the by the way questions, are often being used for advertisement and for the wrong dark user experience purposes. And this is actually a great example of using follow-up questions correctly. And I'm glad that we are doing it.
Yep. And don't forget, when people are experimenting with this, you can actually change your voice assistant on the fly, right? So you can have 5 different voice assistants, one being Dutch, one speaking Danish, one speaking English, or have different prompts, one being Super Mario, one representing more like a, you know, ironic butler or whatever, right? And you can, so maybe when you reach out to somebody, you like would start conversation, you want to be the ironic butler, but otherwise you just want to be a helpful assistant. Everything is possible, right? Like, every piece of this knob from the whole voice stack can be automated and configured on the fly, which just makes it really, really powerful. I just saw a question. Somebody's asking, when is this coming to not large language models? And I want to just talk about it for a second, because the problem with not large language models, when I start a conversation, is that we need to know what you're going to respond, because otherwise we don't know how to process it, right? So the way we have been thinking about this is, instead of start conversation, we're going to add a new action called get response. And then it will be I'm going to ask the user a yes/no question. This is the text that has to be spoken. And we'll support different types and variations of yes. We'll support different variations of nope, and no, and nah, and whatever. And then you will get that back in your automation as a Boolean or something that you can just check, like, hey, what was the response? But it's
actual notification, basically.
It's a lot harder, right? Because we also need to update our sentences, so that if you say start timer, we need to configure, the system needs to learn about start timer, and then it has to answer it for how long. And then we need to know that what is being said then is a duration. It has to be parsed, so that there's a multi-step conversation. It's not impossible to define. It just takes time to do it right.
It is
because
like
it's going to then also be filled in with all those different for every language again.
It is like when a voice experience get like complex, right? Because now with a response, you can have many different branches of response, and you have to essentially make a whole decision tree of all the different possible responses with all the different combinations of questions. So that actually needs a lot of design work and like look into all these different possibilities.
Yep.
Someone said something that I very much oops, not that one. This one. Got to make my satellites speak to each other now. And I think, didn't Mike kind of do something like that while we were testing
That will
things
work.
around?
That will work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can.
That's a good way to automate something that only like maybe Alexa and Google Home can control.
Who is going to make the first like home assistant, voice assistant play? Like having ones that go in and out and have conversation like a movie, like a little
It
short
better be
video
Mike.
or something.
Mike already had the Mycroft ones for those voices. Like he should
Right.
just continue the series.
We'll get there. All right. I want to, if we're doing on the voice, now we're kind of leading into AI. I want to, can we share my screen? Because there's something else that has landed
Yes.
release, which I think
Absolutely.
is really cool. And that is that both OpenAI and the Google AI LLMs can now search the web. They can search
Yes.
the web, which is really cool. So I'm going to show you the Google one. But by the way, I haven't prepared this one, so I'm just going to do this on the fly. There is one downside with the Google one right now, and we've already told the Gemini team to fix this, and that is that you have to disable the control of Home Assistant. We're actually in a patch release going to enforce this right now. It's not enforced. So I'm going to use 2.0 Flash, enable Google search tool, hit submit. Okay, so now when I go to this entity and I click on it, what am I going to search, right? Like, okay, what is the latest release of Home Assistant? Now, this is an interesting one because this is really, I mean, if this works, and I haven't tested this, but if this works, you know it's live, right? And normally, definitely, AI has a knowledge cutoff. Like, and I think Flash 2.5, no, I think Gemini 2.5 Pro was January, but I think this one is even like last year or something, somewhere. So I'm going to see if this works. This is super interesting. Untested, raw. All right.
Whoa.
See?
Nice.
Isn't this cool?
That
Like,
was unexpected.
this is real time. We're like, you know, did Amazon make a bid for TikTok? You know?
Oh, wow.
They did.
Yes.
I don't know.
This is
I
breaking
haven't
news
read
from
up the
like
news
2 hours
today.
ago. Yeah.
I was releasing. Sorry, I haven't followed.
okay.
But they did what
A lot
now?
of news.
But like
So,
this works, right? And so
So you can do a voice commands of tell me all the news today. And can it do
Yeah.
it summarize the news today?
That's actually great because like that's the use case for my sister. That's what she uses her Echo device for, is she wants to have the CNN daily stuff come back for her. But if we could like set this up, then that's a solution already for her. All done. Love it.
So this is wild, right? Like all of a sudden we were like, oh, AI, it's always fake, it's outdated. And now, well, it's actually searching the web, right? And so OpenAI has a search thing, Google has a search thing. And well, it knows the Home Assistant release, which is literally 2 hours ago. This TikTok thing is 2 hours ago. It's really cool.
All right.
It's really cool. So this one works for both Google and OpenAI. One of the things that we're thinking about from the AI group that's working on all this stuff is that we want to, we have template entities, right, that can have an action to get data fed in. Well, what if you have a template entity that is powered by a search query going through like Google Generative AI? So now you are saying, give me the latest headlines of XYZ or something. It searches that, returns it into data, into the template engine, and you get an entity out of that.
I would instantly say no. Let's talk about that. But yes, I think there's a better way. But let's figure it out. But the idea in general is good, right? Being able to like get the news and keep it there. Although I'm curious, it would probably say something else every time, maybe.
That is definitely a thing. Yes, it can. Well, that's the thing. AI can still lie. The search from Google, there can be mistakes, right? So
Yeah.
if people want to try this, right, and this is actually like, I was just talking with someone today, they didn't know, but the Google Gemini is free. Like this is on the Google website. Like the only downside, just so you know, use to improve our products. If you don't pay for it, Google will use your data, but you can try this whole thing out. Like, so just go to Home Assistant website, go to Google Generative AI. There's a link to like get an API key. And like, yeah, you cannot use it unlimited, but you can use like a bunch of stuff.
That's pretty
to try it out.
sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet deal.
So
if there's not too much privacy or data going through, but
well, that's even better. This release, we're sending even less data to LLMs. That's another speed up that we've done. We have a whole benchmarking suite, right, for our AI. We're always tweaking it, and we realize that if we don't send the state of your house, then actually it goes a lot faster. You use a lot less tokens, a lot less cheaper. Especially local LLMs, we've seen times drop from 15 seconds to 3 seconds.
nice.
Just because so much less data is being sent. This does now, if you ask a question about what's the temperature in the living room, it will have to do a tool call. It then gets a state of your house, and then it learns about the temperatures.
That's when it needed it.
But if you just want to say, turn on the lights in the living room, you don't actually need to know what the state of the lights are because you're calling turn on. That's what you're saying, right? So, yeah, lots of good stuff. And there's a lot of good stuff coming even in the next release.
I kind of want to talk a little bit about this because it's come up a couple of times in the community where people are really unsure about the state of their home and what's actually being sent to these LLMs. And I think we should make it clear it's only what you expose to the actual LLM.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have, if you go to settings, you go to voice assistant, there's an expose entities tab. I could totally show that, but I canceled my screen sharing. Sorry, I need to. I will share my screen again. I was too optimistic. I was like, oh, I'm done sharing.
Sorry, that was me.
There we go. Let me edit.
Okay. Yeah, it's my fault, but I have a small monitor with you guys on it, and then I don't see all the things all the time. So if you go to settings, you go to voice assistant, you go to expose, you can see I have 15 entities exposed. And you can control that, right? So this is one of my favorites. I showed you the last time, the get item location in the home. So I can just, if I talk to ChatGPT, I can say, where are my towels? It actually call this script that knows the locations in my home and tells me, oh, well, awkward.
The demo is, you're in the demo vibe today.
I know. Yeah, but I have like three setups running here, so maybe that's not. I don't know what's going on there.
But you define, as a user, you can define what you expose in this screen.
Yeah, you can. If you click on one, you can say, "I want my humidity sensor yes to assist." Amazon doesn't support humidity, or Google, whatever you're working with, right? Whatever voice assistant you want. This is also where you add aliases. So if you, for example, have an entity that has an English name, but you're talking Dutch to your voice assistant, and you want to make sure you can refer that to a Dutch name, you can add an alias, add the different languages, and that way the voice assistant will be able to pick it up. If you want to expose new ones, you just get a list of all your entities, you search for like temperature, you select them, and boom, you expose them. Just like that.
Sorry, I find this so funny.
Oh, that's your new title, intern. Yes.
Oh man, that made me smile. Sorry, that was just too fun. Thank you for that.
I don't know why it's like.
Well, the president is in charge.
Yeah.
President.
But, okay, I'm going to cut the voice at this point because we have a few things left and only 50 minutes left in the stream. Basically, we don't want to go too much over time. But I want to dive into the next subject, which I think is a big thing. We're going to talk about a Home Assistant. He's still trying the towels. It has to work, huh? Does it work? Nope.
Never mind.
Sorry, man.
Okay, kill it.
Nice try. All right. I want to talk about this one because if you've ever set up Home Assistant, and I assume most of you have done it, you might actually have seen this screen before. You're setting up a new smart home, and then you have the ability to either create a new one or upload a backup. And for this release, we actually added a new feature here, which is restore a backup from Home Assistant Cloud right here. So if you don't know, if you're subscribed to Home Assistant Cloud by Nabucasa, you actually have a way to store your backups encrypted with them, a backup of your instance. And now you can restore it directly during the onboarding of Home Assistant. And this is useful, right? If you have like a hardware failure, I don't know, for whatever reason, or maybe you've bought Home Assistant Green and want to migrate to that, you can actually just plug it in, set it up, and then you get to the screen, restore from cloud again. It's a little bit like the iPhone experience, right? Or the Android experience where you just restore from their clouds, which, by the way, for a phone, I find very boring. Like you get this new shiny iPhone and you restore, and then 5 minutes later, everything is the same. But for your home, it might be very useful in case of like recovering from things, right? So that's what backups are for. And that's now right here. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, this is a very nice experience, right? Like, this is, I like it. We kept the left alignment, by the way, I see.
Yes, I think. So I asked before we published this, are these screenshots still relevant? And they were.
Okay.
So probably yes is the answer then.
That's on the left screen that used to be center aligned, I think. Or maybe the button was on the right. I don't remember.
Let's iterate. There we go.
Okay.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about integrations because we have a few new this release. 3 actually. One is Bosch alarms, really cool. Then my favorite this month, there were only 3, but still, this is a good one. It's remote calendar. And the cool thing about this one, let me switch to the documentation.
I like this one a lot.
It means you can get like a calendar URL from someone and load it up as a calendar in Home Assistant and automate with that. Could be any external calendar, which is super great. So if you're a Formula One addict like I am, they actually expose their Formula One racing schedule, and you can just pull it into Home Assistant, and then
that's cool.
Demo time.
I don't have a demo time. Sorry. Also, we don't have time for demo time on this one, but still, it is. It's a cool feature, right? Like you can just share calendars and pull in. If you want to know about the Home Assistant releases and things we do on our developer website, which is developer.homeassistant.io, there's actually a link to a calendar of the release parties and such. You could just import it into Home Assistant, and on release day, I don't know, make a little sound of your home, stuff like that. Right. And last but not least, the name that I will definitely. Can you do it, Paulus? I just struggle with that.
No, the P is silent, right? Pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl. That was it. The P was silent. That's it. I still forget. Which is a game server control panel, which I thought was extent. How do you say that? Extant already, but it isn't. Apparently, just like that dinosaur. So, but that is confusing. Anyways, they still exist and can now be integrated.
Yes. Yeah, this is nice.
Right? Then we have 3 feature integrations added, which are all for Shelly. So Frank Ever, Lingo, and Argram.
Yeah, they've started selling their technology separate from like products.
Yep. But it is Shelly. It will be discovered as Shelly too. So you probably won't see them as much. All right. New things to existing integrations. There's some nice integration improvements here. We talked about OpenAI already and the Google AI one just now. Yoast has been rocking SmartThings, and not just Yoast, the whole community, by the way. A lot of people are contributing to improving the SmartThings integration, which is stunningly cool to see. So if you're using that, you're having a good time right now. It's getting to a perfect state.
Yep.
Thanks everybody for contributing there.
We start to also see all the all the weird things that SmartThings support, we have to support now, right? So I saw today in the beta channel, somebody was like, I have a Samsung fridge and it actually has 2 ice makers and I can make different types of ice, but I only see one exposed. And Joost was like, join like our Home Assistant SmartThings Discord and let's get it fixed, right? Let's get your 2 ice makers in.
That's nice. Crazy. 2 types of ice.
Yeah.
Okay. Ice cold integration. Right. Not just SmartThings, by the way. I saw a lot of stuff happening around Home Connect, not necessarily functional, but a lot of things happening under the hood and making it more stable. So these are 2 like big ones, right? We've seen LG a lot. SmartThings is being like getting top notch, but also like Home Connect is getting a lot of love, and these are 3 like huge brands in terms of like electronics, right? So that's really, really, really nice to see, and getting that support. Well,
We're gonna
there.
get all those appliances, right?
Yeah.
Nothing local yet. So
No,
there's
that's
room.
true.
There's room in the Works with Home Assistant program. Actually, we don't block anyone, right? So there's always room for more of every type, but we don't have any appliances yet that work locally. So go make them, please.
Yeah.
We do have air conditionings exist, but they are not in our program yet. But no washing machines or stuff yet.
Will be cool. Definitely.
And needed. I've seen so many people complain about having to connect their devices to Wi-Fi just to be able to start some things. For
Jeff
washers and
Gerlings
dryers.
made that video, right?
Yes, he did. Yep.
Oh, Jeff
You had to
Gerling
make a
video on
cloud,
his dishwasher.
make a cloud account to just start the rinse cycle on his dishwasher.
Yep. Absolutely.
There was no
So-
button for it. It was only available in the app. Think about it. It's wow. It's mind-boggling.
That is mind-boggling.
Well, Roborock and Reolink are here basically a lot recently. Good to see that going. They're community favorites, right? So that's nice to see. Habitica is still
Actually,
in
the
here.
thing for Roborock is
Oh,
not even
sorry.
mentioned here. The one that I like is that they split out the dock from the base vacuum. So you have a separate device for your vacuum with the stats about your vacuum and a separate device for your dock.
That makes sense.
Nice. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. I haven't noticed that one. I don't have a dock. Maybe that's the reason why.
Oh,
like
you don't have a dock? Like you're
Yeah, I
like
have.
manually refilling water and stuff?
Yeah, dude, mine is. I still have the one that doesn't even work with Roborock. It still has the Xiaomi integration. It's that old, and it's still going strong. Like multiple times a day, it runs around, and I'm very happy with it. So
no, I have the one where like it mops and then it empties the vacuum and cleans the mop at the dock.
And you know what the biggest advantage is, Paul, about that old one?
No
cloud.
No cloud. Yeah, okay. Mine
There
is.
you go. Yeah,
mine is pretty cloud.
There we
it
go.
Mops. It mops.
All right. Microsoft OneDrive has been extended. You can now upload files. So besides backups, you can also upload your own files. And what's happening here? Wow. Darren, we have a bug.
Come back.
Come back. Come on stream, Darren. Let's fix it. If you have time. If you have time. Yes. Anyways, Andrew made a HEOS, HEOS, I think. Yeah, browsing media. So that's cool.
That's
like
cool.
Tune in, so very cool. That thing is platinum now too, which is really cool. Nice. And talking about platinum, we have a bunch of integrations. I've added a new chapter here. We introduced the integration quality scale, right? That thing tells you how the quality of an integration is measured by a lot of rules that we have that we assign to integrations, and how more rules are achieved, the higher the ranking is on this scale, the higher the tier it reaches. So I wanted to celebrate a little bit on the integrations that reach certain things, right? It is very good and very high achievement that people reach platinum in this case for these 4, and it's admiring, really. So we should celebrate those, as it helps for every user. This experience for these integrations is just top notch. So yeah, thank you for these 4. And there are 2 that are going to silver, including, we talked about it, Roborock just now, which is really cool. So we have a bunch of apps here, and we'll keep updating that list, the upcoming releases, and we hope to see more integrations reaching these states.
And we are starting to graph them now, right? We have data of the last 5 months. It's not ready yet. I'm not going to show the stats because it doesn't look cool yet, but like in a few months, it's going to be cool.
Yeah, I hope so. But yeah, it's good to see, right? The quality improves tremendously for everybody's using that is using these integrations. So that's really good. What else? We have some other noteworthy stuff. The Home Assistant Yellow Zigbee. I should still add Zigbee. I forgot that one. I even noted it somewhere. But this link is broken apparently, so I'm going to update right after the stream. But anyways, the Home Assistant Yellow Zigbee chip, or Thread chip if you use that Thread, and the Home Assistant ZBT1, they can now be firmware updated straight from Home Assistant. So they will show up as an update, just as Home Assistant itself, click it, and be done.
Boom. And this is great. It doesn't matter if you're using Zigbee or Thread, and you can switch,
Yep.
right? I don't know if people are aware, but if you go to settings in hardware, you can pick your ZBT1 or your yellow radio, and you say, I want to use it for Zigbee, I want to use it for Thread. And so we will update the right firmware. We install the right firmware at that point in time, and now we also keep it up to date, right? So
just to make sure for the yellow, it's the Zigbee chip of yellow.
That's
not the yellow.
That's the typo that we had to.
We noticed in previous presentations, and still I didn't fix it, which is the worst part of it all. So I'm so sorry. I will fix it directly
Oh,
after.
don't worry. It's a good clarification that people know.
And the details in the entity screen we talked about, right? That little header that you can see some more context, which is great. Backups, we now have sensors for them, which is really cool. Thank you, Mike, for adding those, so you can like see when the last backup was created and when the next one is expected. If you like to automate on those, or maybe put on some maintenance dashboard or something, you can do. Blueprints can now make use of model IDs. You want to have input selectors and such. Small little addition. Thank you there, Tim. Carl Watson, that is. Thank you so much. And you can now turn this, by the way, this is mind-boggling that it wasn't supported yet. But apparently we now support turning on and off TVs via HomeKit.
Nice.
Oh.
Nice. This is fun. Paul got a lawnmower, so
now we support it in Google Assistant and HomeKit.
Good. Yeah.
Awesome. And then a big one. We'll get back to that in a little bit because I have an example, but we improved variables used in automations and scripts. They're now way simplified. I will show an example in a little bit because it is a backwards incompatible change technically. Although we had 0 reports on it during beta, even though we put focus on it. So we'll get back into that in a tiny, tiny little bit.
Yeah.
And we have now support for double tap and hold actions. You can now set them through the UI. They existed for a long time already in YAML, but yeah, there we go. It can now be set through the UI. Madalena is showing it right now here on screen. It used to be just 2, and now the other 2 are added through the UI as well, so you can do even more if you want to. Just Paul, just so you know.
Good.
Right. Extending. All right. If you're a power user, you probably have used templates, and we don't forget about our power users either, right? Because we want you to do some advanced thing too. So Petro has been busy. He has ported the light and switch template entities into the new modern YAML style syntax, which is really nice. Thank you so much for that, Petro. And he also just created the documentation, so I will merge that after the stream too. I was halfway reviewing while I need to go on, but that's now fixed too. So if you're like, oh, where's the docs? Coming soon. But this one is really nice that it's added. And last but not least, I've been enjoying myself by adding tons of little new features to our template engine. It's doing things like combine multiple dictionaries. If you have them, like little mappings that you want to like merge together. Previously, that would require loops or weird syntax things, and that's no longer needed.
That's a big one.
That's a big one, right? And if you have 2 lists, like 2 lists of entities, you want to know the difference between the 2, you can just use these filters and functions now. And there are a whole lots of things in here. MD5s, there's not really many use cases for that, but still I have seen a few. These used to be in a custom integration, and I saw some usage from them, and I pulled them out into Home Assistant itself now. And a really cool one that I like is type off. If you actually work with templates and sometimes you're not sure what this variable contains, you can just like filter it to type off, and it will tell you exactly what it is. Is it a string? Is it a list? What are you looking at? It will give you that context. You could use it for automated like logic as well, but yeah, it's a little debug tool. A whole bunch of new additions that should just be helping a little bit, making templates less verbose and easier to work with. All right. Each of these samples, by the way, each of these links are linked to documentation, giving you exact examples on what you can do with it.
Hey, Frank, just so you know, we are at time, but I think we should keep going.
Well, we should go to the very last one.
This one is also Carwas is like what a man. Like, you know, every release he's there just adding cool stuff to the front end, right? Like things, and it's like it's all over the place. It's like now it's like
This
energy
is
hierarchy.
important.
Then it's like blueprint selectors, whatever. Like
So just a short description of what energy hierarchy is, right? So like, you know, like when you plug into something, like you have different like energy usage reports from different devices that you have, right? But sometimes you want to know, you got information from your breaker, you got information from your power strip, you got information from your individual devices. And you know that each breaker actually, the total energy usage is composed of multiple devices.
For example, if you have one of those CT clamps on your breaker, right? Like, or your group or your fuse box, right? Then you get like the fuse box reported as energy usage. But you might as well have a device plugged into that same circuit that also reports it.
And so back then we would double report it, right? Essentially. But now with the grouping, now you can put that device under that breaker circuit.
Yeah.
So Home Assistant knows which part of it is. This screenshot is actually delivered by Paul. And in his case here, the water heater and the heat pump are connected to each other. So one includes the other, and this will filter it out. Look at that, Brian. Here we go.
So yeah, this is the groundwork that we laid out, right? Like obviously this data visualization is not clear enough to show that hierarchy yet. So we are definitely looking into like upgrading the data visualization to make it more clear what device.
The graph, yes. So what it does right now is deduplicate, right? It subtracts from each other and it makes sure like we don't count double into all these graphs and data we show. So that's kind of nice. That's the main function right now. All right. And with that, there's one thing left, and that's the backwards incompatible changes, which is absolutely a very short list. It almost fits my screen in this size here, but there it is. It's 4 of them. And the automations and scripts, I do want to highlight. The rest is like little stuff, but this one is actually pretty big. But at the same time, we had 0 reports of people having problems with it at this point, but it will make life easier. Yeah. So this is a little bit technical, but how it used to work if you had variables right here, they're defined, X and Y are 1. But previously, every variable would be linked to the block. So this is a block, and Y and Z would be 2. But as soon as it get into the next step of the block, like in this action, this would have been lost. And right now, we changed it. There's this whole thing here as a single scope. So X, Y, and Z is 1. Sorry, X and Y is 1. Y and Z is 2. The result in the new case, which actually doesn't work. Why not? I don't know.
Oh, you had to escape it, maybe.
Escaping is lost there.
That's
we'll
good.
fix that
this
too.
Is a debug round. The next release party for this release will be perfect. Like.
we should prepare the demos and this stuff all together, like just make a montage or something. Anyways, X, Y, and Z. So X will be 1 because that's still the original. Y will be 2 because that's overwritten here, and Z has been set, which is 2. Previously, in the previous release, it will still be 1-on-1, and Z would have been lost and non-existing at this point. So basically, the whole automation is becoming 1 scope of variables, which is very, very easy to work with. It is definitely very great.
And this was a mistake. This was a mistake in the original time. I think Thomas Loven, he added variables and he was like, yeah, sorry, I just missed this. Like, I don't know why we didn't propagate this up. And it should have been like this. So we were very careful. We did it during the beta release. We told everyone, please test all your automations. Let us know if it doesn't work, if something breaks. And everything just kept working, 0 reports. So here it is.
Don't worry, Thomas. Like, I've been working with the variables too, so I haven't noticed either.
No. Who approved that PR? Probably me.
I did.
Oh, you did?
I did. Yes, actually.
Which intern is that?
Oh wow! I even made parallels and tried to work around it and fix it at the time, so I made it even worse. But it's fixed, so thank you so much. It was actually contributed as a fix, so thank you, Arthur.
Yes.
Yeah, and then this one, persistent notifications. If you've ever triggered automations on a notification ID for reconfiguring, that's no longer the case. We're no longer raising persistent notifications for reconfigurations. We have repair issues for that, right? So that might be a breaking change. Reolink, this one is a weird one.
They changed
I don't.
on us.
Yeah, I don't know. We're working with the API, and there's now like a 31 character device limit on the password on the device. I don't know why. It is what it is. Something to be aware of.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it. Some changes to developer. If you're a developer of integrations, then please check out a developer blog. That might be interesting news for you there.
Yeah.
And with that, I'm scrolling all the way up because it's a big release. We've been talking long enough, but this is it. This was April.
Woo!
Now,
right?
Yes, if you like this release, don't forget to like and subscribe down here.
Hit the bell.
Then you will also be notified. State of the Open Home 2 weeks from now.
Yes.
No, 10 days. Sorry. It's just next week. Like next week, we're all together. Like this is kind
It's
of
the end of next week. It is crazy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, all the work that still has to be done. Oh no.
So
So much to tell and spoil.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to State of the Open Home. It's gonna be really good. Until then, go play with this release. Let us know what you like for Areas Dashboard. Don't forget, we have a feedback form linked in the release notes. Let us know if it works, if it doesn't work, what you like to see different. Drop screenshots on Discord. Let us know. We want to know, like, we just make stuff up, right? Like, we do our research, but we don't know everything. Let us know if it can work better.
I want to highlight a little bit the other thing, which is if this release party is over, the party still continues. Come to our Discord. We have there a stage, the community stage, where you can join. You're not instantly on stage, but you can see us there and talk to us and chat with us. But you can join on stage and ask your question and talk with us. We like to interact in a little bit of an after party there and socialize a little bit. So if you're up to it, come to Discord and let's chat a little bit about the release and everything else in the smart home world, right? It's fun.
Yep. Lastly, then, last thing, if you made it till here, and you have not subscribed yet to Home Assistant Cloud, please support our work. It really helps. And, we keep building cool stuff, giving it away, making it all open source, everything. Even the voice assistant, right? The hardware we make, it's fully open source. Anyone can make a version of this. So that's cool. We like doing that. Everything should be open. We want to commoditize all the things in the world. Smart home, private smart home should be there for everyone. It does need funding to build. So help us with that funding. We'll keep building, giving it away. And with that being said, I think talk to you all in 10 days.
Yeah.
See ya. Thank you all.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.